Our favorite green car dude, John Voelcker, senior editor of greencarreports.com, came to the Green Diva Studio to talk about who loves plug-in cars and why they buy them. Here's what he said. Green.
One of the questions we get a lot at Green Car Reports from people who've just found the site or people who are thinking that they want to drive in a more fuel efficient or environmentally sensitive fashion is this going to work for me? Is it going to pay back? And there's actually some research from the University of California that looks at why people would buy a plug-in car in particular. And they found that there are several different motivations, each of which is associated with a different set of people, not all of whom necessarily agree on the way the world works. So the big assumption among lazy media people is that it's all about green.
Hey, who you calling lazy?
No. You guys and your audience are way ahead of the game.
Just kidding.
It's more, so roughly in order of adoption, the very first people who buy plugins are the tech fans and early adopters, the ones who sent their teenage kid out to sleep outside Apple for 24 hours to get the first iPad, not just the first iPad on the block, the first iPad in the town. So plug-in cars are really advanced technology. They're the next wave, and they want to have the first plug-in car and show off to their friends. Then you get the environmental people, definitely the ones who want to drive zero emissions, who know that a mile driven on grid power has lower carbon than a mile driven even in a very efficient gasoline car. You also get the technology fans, electric car people specifically. They've always liked electric cars. Among the engineers, maybe somebody built one in his garage when he was, a teenager. That's a small group, but they're very passionate. They're out front too. Then you get the energy security people. Interestingly, you get a lot of veterans, Afghan, Iraqi war veterans in this group. They've seen the cost to the U.S. of what it takes to maintain our oil imports, our energy imports. They know that every time they plug in, you can get electricity from a bunch of different sources. Doesn't have to be imported oil. In fact, statistically, it's not. Most of it's domestically generated. And they know that by driving electrically, they're not sending money to those folks. And then finally, you get the ones that I think of fondly as the cheap bastards. They're the ones who think about payback, who actually look at, okay, I'm going to own this car for this long. It costs me this much more up front. Plug-in cars are still more expensive. But I'm going to save money on the electricity. I'm going to get nighttime billing in those places that offer it. There's no service if it's a battery electric car. You just replace wiper blades and tires, that's it. So, no oil changes, none of that stuff. And if I keep it for this many miles and gasoline costs this much and my electricity costs this much, I might pay more up front, but in years 4 through 7, I get a payback. All of those groups, once they get the cars, really love them. They will get together, they will become evangelists in their neighborhoods, but they have different reasons for buying them. And one of the things that we found is that when you get electric vehicle owners together, sometimes it's best not to talk politics, because not everybody they agree on the electric cars, they don't necessarily agree on some of the other stuff. But those are the different motivations, and it's why marketing electric cars is tough. Because think about an ad campaign that appeals to all of those sets of people. So either you start doing bullets, like I just did in your ad campaign, which no one reads, or you have this sort of very high-level message. I'm waiting for the first electric car ad campaign that's basically, this is a better driving experience. It's smoother, it's more quiet, it's fun, you never have to go to the gas station again, and it's got really good acceleration at the stoplight. That's one thing that everybody tends to like, but that's why people buy plug-in cars.
To hear John talk more about green driving, listen to the Green Divas podcast on iHeartRadio, Stitcher, iTunes, and many other cool apps and places. And always check thegreendivas.com for even more ways to live a deeper shade of green.